We have an elaborate communication
Very-
system here at the
Yes.
school.
Very
All right, the time being approximately 7 PM, we will call the December 18th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Welcome, everyone. The first item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from November 20th. Do we have any additions, corrections, deletions, or edits to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes of November 20th.
I only got them like later this afternoon, so if we could table them for the next meeting. that'd
That's
be
fine
great.
with me, because I got them later myself, so, all right, so we'll table those minutes? Okay, so, we'll go to item number 2, new public hearings. First one up, 4 James Avenue, New Zolo, applicant is requesting site plan approval for the creation of an ADU. Madam Vice Chair, can you read the legal ad?
This is the one,
Before we open it up, though,
yeah.
Oh, okay, so we only have 4 members here. With any of these filings, the applicant has the option to hold off until we have 5 members here. Particularly, all 3 of the hearings tonight are for site plan approval. So you do have the option to postpone, wait, until we have a 5-member board here. 2 of our members, actually 3 of our members are not here tonight. So,
so we can proceed with 4 members, but you're proceeding assuming the risk. Or we can continue to the next hearing. And that goes for all the applications tonight. So just keep that in mind.
yes, sir.
Does that include, so if for voting tonight, it's need to be a majority of the 4 needs all yes in order to get passed, is that correct? Or how are you?
Three.
Just 3, okay.
Right.
Got it.
So you can have 1 no tonight,
Yep,
next month you could have 2.
got it.
Right. But if you have 2 tonight,
Yep,
then it doesn't pass, right?
thank you.
Okay. Everybody want to move forward? Okay. Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, read the legal ad, please.
In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, Section 11, MGL, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, December 18th, 2025, at 7 p.m. at Fuller Meadow School, 143 South Main Street, on the application for Barbara Nuzzulo, for a site plan approval. The applicant is proposing to construct an attached 3-car garage and an ADU at 4 James Ave. Plans are on file at the Office of the Town Clerk. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear tonight.
At the time and place designated, which is here, so, okay. Do we have anybody here?
Wants to?
Come on up, tell us what you would like to do, and how you're going to do it, and why you're doing it, and when you're doing it. I guess there's a how there, right? Isn't there a how and all those things?
So we're looking to put an ADU attached to the house. We're gonna do a 3-car under for my sister, because she's single, so have her come in, move in. When we do it, we'll probably, the sooner the better. With the winter coming in, probably can't do anything right now because you can't break ground. Why are we doing it? I don't know. What else?
Can you give us some, do we have a plan up on the, can we get the plan up on the screen? Or can you describe a little bit about the square footage and?
It meets the guidelines, the 900 square feet.
Okay.
We're having interior stairs in the garage going up, and then we'll have stairs going out the back.
And you put a 3-car garage below?
Yes.
Is that right? So,
Yep.
so there's adequate parking on site?
Yep.
For this? Okay. Scott, you want to weigh in on this before we start deliberating? Anything?
Yeah, you can't ask for parking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that?
you can't ask for parking for it.
I was just curious.
Yeah, our bylaw doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
For informational purposes only.
Yeah.
It's informational purposes only, yes it is.
The revised plan does comply, it's just shy of 900 square feet.
Okay. Mr. Hotwell, any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Linda?
No?
Nothing? By the way, do we have to vote Linda in as a voting member?
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
I think
We'll
so.
do that in a minute,
okay.
before we vote. Carolyn?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
Just wanted to look.
While you're still looking, I will go to the board reviews, the planning board reviewed the application on 12/10 and voted unanimously to offer a positive recommendation for approval to the ZBA with the following condition. And I'm presuming, I don't know where that following condition is. Is that on here too? Delia?
It was updated since that one you probably got, but the condition was that they wanted Scott to confirm that the garage that's being constructed will not be used by the ADU, or is not constructed for the purposes of use by the ADU, because the ADU bylaw states that the construction of a new garage to serve an ADU shall require a special permit, and they're only applying for a site plan approval.
The AG struck that,
That requirement?
yes.
Okay.
All right. Anything, Carolyn?
Yeah, I don't have the planner report.
Yeah, you can take this. Actually, Delia, anything you want to add from your planner's report relative to this application?
That's it, and there's also comments from the health department.
Okay.
Are those in this? I just don't see them in the folder for the.
Want to share those with us, Delia, from the health department?
Sure.
Oh, is it? So it's right here. Yeah. No, sorry. It's yeah, it's in the under department reviews. Sorry. You make this so convenient. I wasn't used to it. So the Board of Health, the health department would need a passing Title V habitable room count form completed for the existing house. Tank needs to be upgraded to a 2,000-gallon tank and potentially a deed restriction for a 5-bedroom. Conservation reviewed, no concerns. Application will require stormwater, but that can be done as part of the building permit process, and there were no other comments.
Do you understand the issues relative to septic?
No, I didn't really hear her.
Sorry.
I can't hear you.
We can probably get.
Sorry.
There's fans blowing all around.
Yeah. So the Board of Health reviewed the application, and the health department would need a passing Title V inspection, a habitable room count form completed for the existing house.
Well, he submitted my plans of my house. We have a 3-bedroom,
Okay.
and we have the,
Yeah. I think, and then she also said the tank needs to be upgraded to a 2,000-gallon tank and potentially a deed restriction for a 5-bedroom.
it's not a 5-bedroom.
It's only a 4-bedroom. Well, with the
And-
ADU, it'll be a 4-bedroom.
Right, and then there was no upgrade, they've never, we have a 1,500-gallon tank, they said that was fine for a 4-bedroom.
You want to weigh in on this?
Nope, except it's not my,
Not his jurisdiction.
No, I'm just saying, before a building permit could be issued,
So,
you have to
before-
satisfy the health department.
yeah,
right?
before a building permit gets issued, it'll be sent to them for review.
Yeah.
But
This is for your information only, really.
Yeah, it's not anything.
We're not applying any of this to our decision tonight.
Oh, all right.
This is just, we're just reading you the comments we've gotten from other departments within the town, and these were the particular comments from the health department.
Okay.
So you
we're
might-
putting them on the record so that everyone's clear on what was conveyed to us. But that is not our jurisdiction, and
Okay.
we're not including any of that as conditions for our.
Now, what
site.
about, I know you mentioned something about filling out forms, where do you get those forms to?
that's from the Board of Health.
Board of Health.
She looks
Is it
for them.
online, or?
I'm not sure. She looks for them as part of her review for the building permit, but I would reach out to her tomorrow or
Yeah.
first of the week for clarification on the review comments that she provided.
Okay.
And our general conditions typically say that you have to, our approval, as Member Hartwell said, we don't have jurisdiction over the health department things, but our decisions typically have a condition that you have to comply with other
Correct.
boards in town,
Correct.
you know, so as Craig said, it'd be in your interest to find find out what you need to
Yeah,
do and get that done,
absolutely.
because that could hold things up for you. Right? So, okay. Anyone else, any other members? No? Anyone from the public here would like to speak on this? Hearing none. Before we go to a vote, I'll accept the motion to accept Linda this evening as a voting member of our board.
So moved.
So moved. Seconded by Mr. Hartwell. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, with that, Mr. Hartwell.
Mr. Chair, based on the evidence submitted and the testimony provided, I will move to make the following findings related to the site plan. First, that the proposed additional dwelling unit complies with the requirements, the dimensional requirements of the R1A zoning district. The proposed additional dwelling unit will not adversely affect the convenience and safety of vehicular and pedestrian movement on the site, as the existing driveway has two openings with a median strip between to Boston Street, allowing for easy and safe access in and out of the site, and for the location of the driveway openings in relation to street traffic. That the existing driveway is that the proposed additional dwelling unit will be developed in a similar style and appearance to blend in with the existing residence, and that the proposed additional dwelling unit will not be visible from the street.
Right.
And
Delia was
Well, I was
trying
going
to
to say that there was an updated one that was provided. I have it right here. If you want to, can you see it?
you want me to read that from here?
I'm sorry, I updated these today, so I apologize. So, can you,
Yeah.
No, I can't read that.
Oh, is it on, is it on the hard drive? Is it on the
I'll
Google
pull it
Drive?
up.
yeah,
On here?
it is.
Okay.
3:57 p.m.
I just can't hear, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You can use that chair in the corner if you want, right there, right behind you.
All right. And let's see. Decision. That, did you were you
Yeah,
able to pull it up?
Oh, that's what he was just reading. What is it?
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah, I made changes to it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm not, I removed all the parking stuff so we don't get in trouble talking about parking.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you had this updated when it was updated.
I did not, but I got it
Okay.
now.
Okay,
Okay. Continue, Mr. Hartwell.
I apologize.
We're actually done.
You're done.
That I interrupted you, sorry.
All right. Motion made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion by the members? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Mr. Chair,
Good luck.
based on those
Oh,
findings,
sorry.
I make a motion to approve their site plan as submitted, subject to our general conditions.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
So moved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get in touch with the health department.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right, next up, 227 Maple and 0 Gregory Street, DeBarrow. Applicant is requesting a site plan modification approval. Madam Vice Chair, please.
Okay. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, Section 11 MGL, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, December 18th, 2025, at 7 p.m. at the Fuller Meadow School on the application for James DeBarrow for a site plan modification approval. The applicant is seeking approval for as-built existing non-conformances pertaining to parking layout, location of septic system, landscape, hardscape buffers, one-way entry, and the construction of ADA-compliant ramp at 227 Maple Street and 0 Gregory Street, found on Assessors Map 19. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at this meeting.
Yes, sir, you're up.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim DeBarrow, owner and founder of Hyperion Design Group. I'm here representing my client, the Johnsons, at their parcel at 227 Maple and 0 Gregory Street. And I'd like to make our case today for the existing nonconformities that are currently in place on site compared to the existing site plan that was approved in the year 2000. So the existing site plan that was approved in the year 2000 was done by an architect, James Fitzgerald. He's passed on. He's not here to represent himself here. But I'm here to basically move the ball forward based on some of these edits to the site that have happened in those past 25 years, essentially. With that, it's kind of a game of looking at the two site plans of what's existing today and looking at what's the same and what's different from these two site plans. First and foremost is I'll talk about the parking. So the parking layout is different in this scheme that's currently on the site right now, where there used to be a parking island in the middle, but that parking island's no longer there, essentially. The reason being is that shortly after it was actually constructed, and I think a few years after the year 2000, that parking island was constructed where there was a light bollard in that area that was on two separate occasions hit where it fell on someone's car, and it was more of a nuisance where they actually moved that light bollard kind of across the drive aisleway, so that way people wouldn't hit it as easily, and remove that parking island that's in the middle there. With that, there was a parking count that was calculated also in the year 2000 that we are also looking to basically take the new parking, or use the parking that we have on site now as what we're going forward with approval for tonight as well. With that, also there's some hardscape and landscaping buffers that we are looking to get relief from to say, hey, these aren't exactly where they were when we first approved it back in the year 2000, but they are, we're willing to work today also to say, hey, some of these buffers we would like to go ahead and say we can put some of these back if need be, but we're requesting relief tonight if possible. And then also we're looking at, there's a ramp on the Captain Pizza side where they are looking to change it from, it's like a 1 to 8 slope currently, and we're looking to put that back to a 1 to 12 slope that's legal ADA ramp. That's kind of the main driving force in this whole project here, is making sure that we have a ramp for that new pizza, or the new restaurant that they're looking to implement in that space where Captain Pizza was. Let me see if I missed anything on my list here. So the parking layout, the handicap ramp, the flow of traffic, right? So on the original site plan, we did have a one-way going from Maple Street all the way to having it be two-way on only Gregory Street. It says on our application that we'd like to maintain to be a two-way from Maple Street, but we're totally fine with making it be just one way from Maple Street and having Gregory be the only two-way in and out of this lot here. And the septic location. So the septic location was originally supposed to be in the front of the parcel, kind of closer to Maple Street. For whatever reason, the tanks wouldn't fit in that area. They were actually placed in the back, where in the back portion of the lot, actually, there's kind of a deck that's covering those tanks with an access panel to access and service those tanks as well. So those are the various, what you would call existing non-conformances to what was approved back 25 years ago. And we're asking tonight for relief on some of these items, so that way we can move forward and hopefully have the restaurant space be utilized again to its highest and best use as a restaurant again. And that's essentially what we're looking to do.
Okay. Before we go to the members, I would like to go to the commissioner here, because this property had a significant amount of violations over the years. As a matter of fact, when I was printing stuff out today, I was killing a lot of trees, looking at all of this stuff.
Correct.
So I'd like to go to the commissioner here, just to kind of give us an update on where things are and maybe some of your viewpoints.
So this proposal will solve their zoning violations. They still have building code issues to deal with. So if the board grants the modifications, it will solve the zoning. But in the other point is, all the previous conditions should carry through except the ones they're asking to be modified of the previous approvals, particularly the parking of the cars under repair should be in the fenced area per the previous decision. Just anything that's not modified should carry through.
Okay. And are there recommendations on what those modifications should be?
Well, they didn't have, the only thing they've asked to modify is what
Site plan.
Mr. DeBarro
Correct.
presented on, so
Okay.
it should just, I would like it noted in a decision that the previous conditions of the previous approvals carry through unless modified by this decision.
And just so I understand this correctly, the corrections to the zoning gets them out of these violations that they're in. how did they get in them in the first place?
You would have to ask the property owner. There was an approval in 2020. My predecessor did the initial write-up in 2014. I think that was included in your packet tonight. And then I went back out at their request in 2021, I believe, and provided the second write-up.
I'm trying to reconcile in my head that, so there was particular zoning, we had all sorts of zoning violations, and now, to try and correct the zoning violations, we're trying to change the zoning so that they're not in
You're
violation.
not trying to change the
Well,
zoning.
not change
Yeah,
the zoning,
you're trying
but
to
give them relief.
modify their site plan approval.
Yeah,
So
Correct.
if the board grants it, it deals with the zoning, and he still has to deal with his building code and other stuff with us. But this is the first step with my department for them to come into compliance after a very long time.
and is there a reason, is the property owner here?
Correct.
Is there a reason that we have been out of compliance for this long of time? I'm just curious. Because here's my concern, I'll give you one of my concerns personally, that we go ahead and we make modifications and we issue all these things, and then we find that we're still not in compliance for whatever reason. So, for me, I need a reasonable assurance that if we're trying to put this in a situation where you can become compliant, that you're gonna follow through. And we're not just gonna like be issuing paper and taking everybody's time here to do this, and then it's
Well,
just.
no, this is their path of least resistance. This is the path that requires them to make no changes, and all we do is approve what's there now.
Correct.
Right.
Well, so there's no issue with compliance. They're compliant now, we vote yes. The issue is, personally, I don't like how it looks now. So we gotta get closer to the original site.
Well, that's my point, Greg. That's my
So,
point.
but that's where we're gonna, that's, I think, where we're gonna have to get to. Because this existing conditions plan now is not gonna fly with me.
Right. So, while you have the floor, why don't you continue?
Would you like us to now hold the hearing and continue to the next public hearing? That would allow for another member to join us at the next hearing, who can Mullins form in and also vote on that, on your application as well. And that will give you time to adjust your site plan.
Right, so the existing site plan that we have presenting today of what's existing, right, has no changes. We have no changes that we're looking to make during this process.
We're saying we're not gonna, I'm saying I want you to make changes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tried to make changes. So what I did is I brought a site plan to the building department to say, hey, I'd like to do this. I'd like to make these changes to the site. I was stopped at the building department where it said, you can't do anything until you fix your zoning issues first. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
All right, so the path to fix your zoning issues is to come back to us for site plan approval of the modification.
Right,
So you need to modify your site.
right. No, I hear you. I'm
Right.
willing to do that. I have that proposed site plan that we're looking to do, which is what I was under the impression of, was that at the building department, I wasn't allowed to do
Member Hartwell,
so.
can I make a clarification
I'd
on
love
that?
it.
They've been told many, many times in many different meetings and all their different representatives, they had two options. Make the site match the 2020 plan or apply for an amendment of what they want. Two options. I think that's a very clear direction that's been provided. They chose to apply for what was there and not make any changes.
Which is understandable.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
the path of least resistance
Yep.
and the lowest cost.
Yeah.
But do you want to vote on it tonight, or do you want to come back with a better plan next month?
Can I wait till I hear from the other board members tonight?
Sure.
Carolyn?
I mean, I think if he wants to wait till, I'm sorry, if you want to hear, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah.
I don't have any, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold my questions.
Linda?
Has any of this ever been before the ICDRC relative to changes around buffers and,
What was that?
have any of these plans been before the ICDRC for changes in buffers and
I don't believe so.
landscaping, that kind of thing?
Because the plan removes a whole lot of landscaping and totally reconfigures the parking,
Agreed.
which was
Yeah.
all conditions of the prior approval. And, certainly looks a lot would have looked a lot better than it looks right now.
Under the guise, or let me ask this now as well. So that original site plan with the original landscaping, if we were to adhere to that completely, right? Going forward, is that an approvable way to path forward?
If you take the 2000 plan,
Yes.
and you comply, then you're in compliance.
So putting the
Island back, everything.
everything back.
Put it all back. You would not need our approval for any modification of site plan.
The one portion of that might be the hard part is the septic system, right? The existing septic system.
It's an underground utility.
So it's not subject to site plan approval at that point.
What does that have to do with the site plan?
The septic doesn't, no.
Yeah, he can, septic separate.
Nope.
So if he just complies with the 2000 site plan, puts everything back the way it was prior approved, he can deal with the septic system with the Board of Health.
And again, this gets back to my original question.
Right.
There was an approved site plan,
Correct.
nothing was ever done. Is that right? Am I correct?
The parking island was done, correct? Or was it?
Let me rephrase my question. Is the site compliant currently with the site plan that was approved in 2000?
No.
Okay, and so,
It has that
then my
modification.
follow-on question was, why wasn't it? Is there a reason? Yes, sir. Why don't you come on up?
The site plan that you're going by is not the,
What, the approved site plan?
well, that's not the approved site plan.
That's the one that's stamped approved and in the zoning board of appeals files.
You were told that was not. I already told you.
That's great, you told me that, but
Who are you, sir?
you never produced
owner.
anything.
In your name?
What's your
What?
name?
James Johnson.
One at a time, one at a time. So,
Mr. Chairman, this is why
Yes.
it looks like that,
Right.
because it's this attitude. But that's the plan that's on file, that's the plan that's stamped by the zoning board at that time and was endorsed. There is nothing else on file. Our office checked the zoning board files, the town clerk checked her zoning board files. That is the plan that's on file. He has never produced another plan that he claimed to be the approved
Is that the
one.
same plan that your representative has presented to
Correct.
us? This is the 2000 plan
Yes.
that's stamped and approved. You're saying that that plan is not good?
No, actually, may I speak for 1 second?
yes,
Please.
please.
I was at Town Hall yesterday and met with Arlene. She went down and found another drawing,
Stamped?
stamped.
Where is it?
She wouldn't give it to me. She said she couldn't believe it. The drawing was done a couple of months after that drawing. And on that drawing, you'll see the arrows in the one-way that was like an addendum to it. What had happened was when that was sent out, that was for pre-construction. The septic was completely changed. Leo Cormier was in charge. I know Leo's still around because I know he's in Linfield. Those drawings, I gave 3 full sets of drawings in order to get occupancy for that property. When the septic was done, there was no parking lot, nothing was there. And there was no parking ever put in when they did the septic, Greg. Because the septic had to go in the back of the building. That's why if you went to the back of the building, you'll see it coming out, probably 15 feet. They changed the front of the building, the handicap ramp came straight down. That's how it's been for 25 years. With the septic done, once they got the tanks in place and everything was done, they couldn't get the parking where it was because it wasn't big enough because of what they lost putting the septic in. Then they turned around and put all the parking like it's been for the last 20-some years from day one. When I brought the 3 full sets to get approval, and all the parking is on those drawings.
So you're saying you
Did I-
never installed that island?
Never, the only,
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't you just tell us that they had installed the island? There was a light pole on that
Yes.
island.
Yes.
And that when the light pole got hit, they took the light pole and the island out.
Yeah.
So how can you then tell me 2 seconds later that you never installed the island?
if you looked at the island, Greg, it goes down and then there's 2 ends that come out on it. All right.
He said it was installed
No,
with a light pole.
no.
And it got hit. And
He's
then you have
right,
to take it
he's
out.
right and you're right. What I'm saying is, what they did is they left the light pole.
So he's right and I'm right, but you're not right because you're telling us it was never installed.
It was, no, just what they did is they took out where the parking was. That was parking. So on the other side, you park towards House Station going to Gregory Street, and then this one was going towards like the daycare center.
Okay.
That was eliminated once the septic went in. And they turned around and they left the light post.
Okay.
And they had a little island around it, but the island was probably only sticking up maybe 3 inches. And it was only probably 4 feet.
Okay.
Before, I believe it held 5 or 6 cars.
Okay, so
Then,
the island, great.
then why the island disappeared, which the island never disappeared, that little 4-foot.
First it was never there.
No.
Then it was there, but it was kind of
Because
there.
there's-
But then it never disappeared. Okay, this is getting
What
good.
happened is-
I'm ready.
It had been hit a couple of times, moved it a little.
The island that was never there.
No, the island is there, there was just a pole.
Now
The island was
there
a
with the pole.
parking area.
All right.
Right?
Time out. Let's all stop for a second here.
This is not
Let's all stop.
where you want to go.
You've heard of the modification process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if your site plan changes, you come in for a modification and you ask to change.
Was here 1,000 times.
Is it-
The only one I remember on the board was named Stuart Lord.
You were 1,000 times since when?
Over all the changes,
I've been on the board since 2006. You've been in violation since 2014. Why haven't, why I haven't seen you?
how could I be in violation?
'Cause you're not
Do you-
meeting the site
Do you
plan.
actually believe that I would have got an off-the permit with the way that the lot is right now to what it was on that piece of
I
paper?
can't speak to how things were done back then.
Well, that's not fair, because I've been asking for a full set of drawings for over a year, and they can't produce them. Why is that? That's the only drawing you
What are you
have.
talking about?
Any public records request you and your whole group has asked for has been fulfilled. You keep claiming there's documents that don't exist. And this is, I'm just gonna say, this is why we're where we're at. You wanna argue everything. You're always right, and you wanna argue everything. The previous,
let me
the
ask you a
previous,
question.
hold on, no, let me finish talking. Previous building
Hang on. We're going to do this one at a time.
Yeah.
The commissioner's speaking. When he's finished, you can speak. Okay? Let him finish.
The previous building commissioner issued orders to correct in 2014. You did not follow those. Around 2021, I went out, I believe it was at a request from someone on your side to look at stuff. I found additional problems, as well as the 2014 violations were still there. I issued an order to correct. The only reason you're here is because I started withholding permits from you in accordance with our zoning bylaw. That's why you're here. You had no intentions on correcting these violations.
They are violations.
Until I withheld your permits. You should have appealed the order at the time during your appeal period if you believed they weren't
Let's
violations.
go back to
Hang
2014.
on. I'll
So
get to
you missed your appeal window. The orders stand. You either build it per the plan like you've been told 100 times, or you come in and ask this board for a modification and provide them with something that they're willing to vote on. That's your choices.
First of all, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are lying, because you and
Shit,
I.
I'm not gonna sit here and
enough.
listen to you call me a liar.
Mr. Johnson,
Sir,
Mr.
sir,
Johnson,
Sir,
step back.
back up.
Step back.
Back up. All
Step
right?
back to the microphone,
I-
now,
Right.
You can sit next to me.
We're not doing this.
behind the microphone.
We're not doing
now.
this because we'll just continue
I
right now.
can't answer a
We'll continue
question.
right now.
He's
When I'm
telling
speaking,
something-
hang on a second. When I'm speaking, you're not. All right? We're going to do
Right.
this in a proper order. And I reside over this meeting, and I will recognize you to speak, and until I recognize you to speak, you don't speak. Am I clear?
Sorry, Mr. Bennett.
Am I clear?
Yes.
You are not to step in front of that microphone.
Okay.
Get behind it now.
And we're not going to go back and forth about who lied and who's full of this and who's full of that. Yes, sir. I'm recognizing you.
Thank you. I'd like to say, just to, cooler heads will prevail here, folks. Let's just take the couple notches down here on all animosity, right? What we're looking to do here, and why we're here in the first place, and why I'm here, right? What I've been contracted to do for Mr. Johnson is I'm his architectural designer and drafter for this project. We're looking to do it the right way, right? We're not trying to go and pull the wool over anyone's head here. We're not trying to say, hey, we're not trying to point fingers and say, you're a liar, you're doing this, you're doing something the wrong way, there's drawings that don't exist. I don't care. What I want to do is move this project forward so that way we can have a site here that makes sense for the community, so that way there's a new restaurant there potentially, people can utilize that more, as well as the owner of the site can actually, lease out that space as well, right? I really just want to drive home that that's what we want to do and why I'm doing this in the
So
first
what I would
place.
suggest, right?
Yes.
is that you come back, you have a site plan, you go over the site plan, you show us what was originally approved, what you'd like to change, and then we'll deliberate on it, and we'll decide what we like about the plan, what we don't. You can make modifications to that plan, and you can get to a point. I'm looking at one plan from whenever the date was, and it had all kind of landscaping on it and everything else. And then I'm looking on the current plan, I'm presuming that you prepared, there's one tree, all right? So things like that, right? We need to get to a point where we're all comfortable with what you're proposing. What you're proposing tonight, we can take a vote right now. I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that, okay? So what I would suggest is you allow us, we'll continue this meeting to our next meeting, right? In the meantime, you put plans together. You might want to sit and listen to see what the next presentation, so you can see what plans are supposed to look like and what the kind of questions that we're going to ask. I'm giving you some advice here, right?
I hear you.
All right? And then we can go through this process.
Totally.
Or we can vote on it right now. Your choice.
We will continue to the next meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to continue at the applicant's request to the January meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Do I have a second?
January 22nd.
January
January 22nd, that was the number. I was
And we
looking
have a second. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 See you next month.
Thank you.
Anne actually voted on that. Anne Cody actually voted on that first.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it actually might help to have her here because she's got a long memory.
We'll have everything in the book.
It's true.
Yep.
She just started
Okay.
a notebook.
Yeah, she keeps her.
Does everybody have enough
filled one up
popcorn?
recently.
All right. Next up on the agenda, 49 South Main Street, Villbridge Acquisitions LLC. Applicant is requesting a site plan modification approval. Madam Vice Chair.
Oh, sorry.
What's the matter? You don't have popcorn?
No, these two over here distracting me.
Okay.
Okay, so in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, Section 11 MGL, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, December 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Fuller Meadow School Media Center on the application for Villabridge Acquisitions LLC for a site plan modification approval and special permit. The application is proposing to construct a playground and modified approved buildings and parking lot at 49 South Main Street, found on Assessors Map 25, Lot 65. Any person interested or wishing to be heard in the application should appear now.
Do we have anyone here?
Hi, Lars Onion from Villabridge Acquisitions. My first thing to clarify, just even from the public announcement, is when we submitted the forms, I reused the forms we used back in January, and so marked site plan approval and special permits, but we're not requesting any amendments to the special permits.
Okay, that's what I
So
thought,
that was,
okay.
that was my mistake, just quickly reusing the forms, and I'd left that box checked.
It happens.
Didn't catch it until after everything had been filed, so sorry about that. It's just a site plan adjustment. So, again, we're requesting a site plan modification. I'll walk through slides to present the changes, but in summary, as we've been continuing to work on leasing the retail spaces, we have made an agreement with a daycare operator. They operate under the franchise name of the Learning Experience. The particular franchisor has 8 locations already in operation in Massachusetts, is currently constructing a 9th location in North Andover, and also has other locations around the country. The modifications that we're requesting are around essentially removing parking spaces in order to accommodate a playground that would be associated with the daycare operation. So I'll walk through the adjustments.
Excuse me.
So as Chair Benevento was just describing a moment ago about showing what's approved and what we're requesting, what we've done for this presentation is just showing side-by-sides to kind of hopefully help visualize the differences. So in the approved plan, in the northern larger building that's 15,000 square feet, we previously had a drive lane closer to the building and then had several parking spaces at the end. And what's being proposed is to basically move the driving lane over to where the parking spaces were in order to enable a playground area to wrap and be adjacent at that end of the building. So that we lose some spaces there, so in front of the building and essentially where the drive lane shifted over to is the net effect of that change. And I'll walk through some of the other changes associated with that playground when we get to it. And on the south side of the site, there's no changes. It's the exact same plan as is currently proposed. I shouldn't say no changes, that was not fair. There's a slight change. Previously we had, and this is related to the multifamily, but it interacts with the retail. Previously we had the trash for the multifamily coming out here and straight out. The one adjustment we've made is we've eliminated the trash chutes inside of the building. We have a trash room, so still internal to the building, but instead of using chutes that requires a lowered floor, we're just having a trash room that's at the same height as all the other flooring in the residential, so it essentially needs to come out higher uphill. So that basically instead of coming straight out, comes out and moves along the southern edge of the site, and so that reserved space is a little further away from the rest of the retail. And then as part of that, you'll see we had a short retaining wall here, and now the retaining wall is longer. It's very low, it's just like a foot or so, but just enough to take the edge off of the grade before it meets the sidewalks. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said no changes, but as it relates to the buildings, the patio, the parking layout, all of that remains the same. What we also have, and just to explain this, as you know, I have been working a while now trying to get this space leased. We have essentially the daycare is a 10,000 square foot operation, and as you might recall when we met back in January about the restaurant, they've continued to express interest in the site and a willingness to continue talking about moving in. So what we have talked with them about is sort of changing the layout of the site a little bit, having the daycare on the northern 10,000 square feet of the top building, and the restaurant moving out of the standalone building and into the bigger building. And that way, basically we have 75% of the space leased, and that's enough to get a bank loan and go get this thing built. And you know, the broker swears once you start construction, the other building will move like hotcakes, but essentially it allows us to have an ability to execute on a minimally viable financially plan, and then hopefully the rest of it comes with it. And so with that, because we don't have leases in place for the southern building right now, we felt it appropriate to talk about an interim condition, because it hopefully will happen very quickly, but it may not. And so wanted to just show the board what it might look like in the interim until that southern building gets built. So specifically with this interim plan, the majority of the parking and everything is exactly the same. The only difference is that rather than having the building, there's just an additional parking area. So, and the reason for this is, right now, the current approval, we have 153 spaces planned. With the implementation of the daycare, we would drop by 20 spaces to 133. One of the points of discussion with the restaurant operator, if the board might remember, was that they wanted 150 spaces as one of their conditions of the lease, which is why we asked for the site plan modification we did back in January. For the moment, this interim plan provides the 150 spaces. We're talking about the fact that, well, that was when there was going to be a whole bunch of uses and people coming and going, we didn't know what was what. But now, with a much quieter profile of a project where there's a daycare that'll be busy when you're not, and you'll be busy when they're not, it should be much more manageable. But so what we're trying to do with this interim condition is be able to demonstrate we can meet their parking requirements in this interim condition and continue these discussions about what's really needed, given that the overall profile of the project is much more simplified, where a majority of the space is being used by a user that won't be there in nights and weekends, basically, if that makes sense. I hope that's not overcomplicated. We're just trying to think through like what the baby steps are to getting to the final point.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
The parking lot there, and
Yeah.
from this distance, I can't see it all, but is that just a sea of pavement, or do we have landscape islands in there somewhere? or-
There's a landscape, so again, it's the same design as before, landscape island, those are still there. And then basically where this round of this curve is here, we're basically creating a landscape island here and then all through there. So we're creating a buffer, we're creating that inbound lane to get people off of South Main Street quickly, just as we were before. So we're basically keeping this same curb line, and then from here, we're basically just putting in this temporary
In
parking.
the small lot down in the bottom right there?
Yes.
Yeah, right there?
Yep.
Is there enough, like, if you're in the last space to the right,
Yep.
can you, unless you back in, I mean, is there some way, I mean, should that be teed off so people can get out?
We could expand it more. We certainly have plenty of capacity.
I mean, I prefer the grass.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that was my,
Yeah.
my question is, do we need it? All of that parking?
It's overpacked.
That's my
It's-
point.
By
like-
zoning, it's
Zoning,
overparked
it's
for sure.
overparked.
But if the restaurant
We're
needs,
just trying to
Ease
show
that.
the restaurant, here's a plan where we know we can give
Got
you
it.
150 spaces, and then hope we can negotiate that down to something more reasonable, given that now that so much of the use is gonna be quiet at the time the restaurant will be most busy.
Because, like, just for your, like, that would be a prime example of like where I would bank parking spaces if you didn't need it for your business purposes.
Yeah.
From a zoning standpoint, like any opportunity to alleviate the impervious surface, like that, to me, but just keeping that in mind.
Yep.
yeah, but that's a good point, to bank it, if you need it later.
Yep, yep.
But I understand you're trying to make this attractive enough that these folks are gonna wanna sign up.
Yes,
That's
and,
the point.
and also, again, we want to end up there. So like, this is just, we did the minimum we needed to try to make everybody happy. But the goal is to get to there, and so building more that we're going to rip up later doesn't do anything. I mean, we've kept the bike parking in the same place. I mean, the curb lines in the same place. I mean, we're really trying to set the table for, once a lease gets signed, that's what gets built.
So that goes away then?
What goes away?
All that parking.
This goes,
No,
this
up
goes.
above.
No, this
That's the
state,
goal.
this is the ultimate end goal.
Got it.
We're trying to get back to what was approved on the southern half. All we're just saying is, in the interim, before we get leases signed for this building,
Okay.
that we would instead just do slightly more surface parking. And then, once we get leases signed for here, we'll build this building and complete the full plan. Is the intent.
Can you talk a little bit about the daycare? What-
Yes. So again, it's, the franchise is called the Learning Experience. It's a national franchise. The plan is to have 145 students, over 50% of which will be below, I think it was like 2 to 4 years old, about half of the students will be. So it's, early pre-K and then pre-K, and then 25 staff members, so 170 total occupants in the space. Their requirements for parking, which, if I may, I'll just advance to the next slide because it just shows everything side by side. So what they need is 40 spaces, is what their franchise, target number of parking for coming and going. So this provides 40 spaces at the front of the building. So our thought was, okay, so that can be dedicated to the daycare during the daycare hours, and then the restaurant that would be here would have access for all the parking here. And then obviously in the evening when the daycare is closed, then everything's available. But that way we sort of satisfy their requirements for what they need for parking. On top of which, they require a total of 40 spaces, but again, they have staff of 25. So we can also provide, staff parking in that back tail of the parking. So the actual customer parking will be exceeding what they.
Hours of operation?
Hours of operation, I believe it's,
Yeah.
before business day till the end of the day. I don't know the precise hours, but I would assume it's gonna be like 7 to 5 or something like that. Like most daycares.
Yeah, they probably extend it.
Maybe early, 6:30 to 6:30?
That's what they
I
have.
wish I had my kids go to that daycare.
They have an operation in Andover at 6:30 to 6:30.
Okay,
I'm
thank
assuming
you.
it's going to be the same operation.
And can you talk a little bit about circulation? Like, so mom's coming in the morning, or dad's coming in the morning to drop the kids off?
Yeah.
And how is that working?
Well, so we're still doing what we had before, which is it's 2-lane travel around the entire building. So We haven't eliminated that, and as a matter of fact, we also, Chief LaCoste, the fire department, asked us to verify now that the town has actually purchased the fire truck. We've changed the turn templates to make sure all of this works with the new truck, which we have confirmed with them. But so it's two-way travel around the whole thing. They would come in here, the main access point into the daycare is there, and so they would come in and drop off and pick up from that location.
And I do have a question from Member Renault, who's not here tonight, but I
Sure.
can speak with him. And we were talking about the playground a little bit.
Yep.
And when the facility is not in operation, like say weekends or that sort of thing, would the playground be available to other people in the plaza or the residential property next door? That was just a question he
I
had.
don't think so, no, because they, for liability, safety, all those things, I think they need to have it controlled.
And licensing.
And license.
And it's also not accessible from the
Because
outside.
it's their playground, right?
It's their playground, and as part of the design, which we'll see in the renderings in a moment, the entire playground is surrounded by a 6-foot stockade fence.
Okay.
For privacy and safety reasons. And what's not shown within the playground, because it hasn't been designed yet, is this playground would actually be split into 2 playgrounds, one for super young kids with smaller playstations and another that's a little larger in size.
And I know you're dying to show us what that's going to look like, but let me go to the members just on some more general questions. Carolyn?
Nothing right now.
Nothing. Fred?
Although,
Nothing? Linda?
I'm good.
Okay. Anything?
Just 2
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
One of the plans showed bollards along with the fence, correct? Do I remember seeing that?
I don't think, it may have, we do need to put bollards, yes, so
Yeah,
that
so-
is an issue for the parking lot. I don't think it's shown, but
I
it
think
might
they
be.
called out on one of the smaller
It
plans.
might have been on the civil plan.
Yeah. So you got bollards for protection?
Yes.
And then none of those changes affect the possibility of the, I forget if it was an easement or at the intersection? Nothing goes out?
No, right.
So
Yeah,
that-
so again,
that's
on
all
the-
unaffected.
That's right, on a side-by-side basis, we're staying in the same limits, so those easement areas that we're granting to the town continue.
They're still
they're
out
still
of the,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you got your protection and the easement's still there, so
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, continue.
The other thing I would just point out, and I'm sorry, I forgot to a moment ago, get this thing to work. In the upper area, I just wanted to point out that on the approved plan, this was our landscaping plan. We met with the planning board last week, and they expressed concerns about making sure that privacy of the playground area was maximized. Wanted to make sure there wasn't people peering or onlooking into the playground anymore. And because of both the grade changes, because Boston Street at this point is about 7 feet higher than the ground here, as well as the apartment building right next door. So what we've done to respond to their concerns is we've increased the amount of trees wrapping around to really kind of create a green wall. Now, those are deciduous trees, they have leaves, so they'll fall. But the thinking basically is the playground will be less in use in the wintertime when there's no leaves, be more often used in the spring and summer when it'll be in full bloom. And so we'll really wall off and create a real private setting there. That was our effort to respond to their concerns in terms of making sure there's not too much creepiness happening. The other thing is that, again, because of the grade change, if you think you're 7 feet higher, the fence is 6 feet tall, and then you have trees on the low side of the hill, you'll be just looking straight into the trees or into the fence. So it should really screen the kids well.
All right.
So again, this is just showing how the interim condition works. So until this building gets built, there would just be this additional parking area, some additional handicap spaces proximate to the restaurant.
And the building footprint is exactly the same?
The building footprint is exactly the same. One other change I failed to mention before is previously we had dumpsters here in this corner, but because we shifted the fire lane up, that doesn't work anymore. And in talking with the restaurateur, their preference is to have a trash room internal to the building so that it's very quick and convenient for their kitchen staff to dispose of food as they're in the middle of operations. And they work in a lot of, two of their locations are more urban type environments, and so they are, stacked buildings where they're used to having totes that come out and just come for frequent pickups. as opposed to having a big wet dumpster that sits out there for multiple days for pickup. So, but the building footprint is the same.
Lars, just another question. So,
yeah.
there will be a restaurant and a daycare, and then is in the ultimate scenario, would that be another restaurant or something else?
It would have to be something else. There wouldn't be enough capacity in the septic system to accept another. I mean, there might be a small food use or something, maybe a takeout type plate, like not takeout like fast food, but like a
Nothing with a
bakery
drive.
something. Nothing with a drive-through for sure. That's for sure.
Point that out.
I've learned my lesson
Man, a heart
there.
attack. He was half asleep, all of a sudden he said, wait.
And Ed's about to correct me because I'm wrong. We did change the footprint, didn't we? It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, good
In
evening,
terms of gross
Mr.
square
Chair.
footage, but the rentable is the same.
Ed Bradford, TAT.
Sorry.
That's right. There's no change to the floor area of the building, but a minor adjustment to the footprint, as
Footprint.
Lars just noted in the northwest corner.
And the adjustment is this portion of the building in the back, basically just coming back out a little bit more. So you'll notice that there was a sidewalk behind where we had multiple storefronts, but now without needing to have that, it's expanded a little bit more here. But otherwise, the things that face the public, all of the design is staying the same. And I'll show that to you in a moment. So, sorry, I'm making a lot of mistakes tonight, I apologize. So this is the approved elevation, so I'll go back and forth to try to help show the changes. And this is the proposed. So I know that was hard to kind of tell the difference, and I'm happy to zoom in if it's helpful, but we tried to show now, rather than having a whole bunch of individual stores, essentially the idea is to have the restaurant here, and then the daycare is all of this area over here to the right. And we did put the learning experiences specific signage on the plan. One of the things you also note is that previously we had a white rectangle behind the signage on these individual stores, but because the learning experience is taking such a big space, Ed and his team worked through, and I'm talking for you, Ed, but basically that doing those rectangles didn't make sense with a larger signage for a larger operator, and so the thought was to just simplify things and allow for the signage to have a little more space there.
So is the bottom what is proposed?
This is what's proposed.
Okay.
Yep. And again, I'm happy to zoom in and or go back and forth, however might be helpful to evaluate. Would anyone like me to do that?
I'm looking at it on the,
Okay.
Yeah, can you,
Sure, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So basically, if you might remember, so this,
Okay, yeah.
this is like, we had boom, 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 a whole bunch of,
Yeah.
like the parlance is it was like a loaf of bread, lots of slices, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's trying to keep the rhythm of the architecture, so we want to keep the building the same, but with the signage, kind of simplifying it too. There's one use and another use. And so then the rectangles behind the signage didn't make as much sense because,
it's too busy.
yeah,
It doesn't look like you just put in a warehouse.
exactly. Yep.
So, how many units are between, is there a unit between the restaurant, or is that, they're just taking up?
Right now, the plan is for the restaurant to just take up the balance.
Okay,
So two things, because there's more sort of internal back-of-house space, that's why we were saying that the leasable area is staying the same, even though the building's a little bit bigger.
okay.
And then part of the discussion is, hey, we can give you more space. Would you like to pay some more for that? So
Right.
that's part of the,
Okay.
enough.
enough.
Dynamics happening right now, seeing what the appetite is for that.
so the intent, Lars, is to keep sort of that village look to this thing that
Yes.
we everybody
So hard.
worked very hard
Yep.
to get to.
Yes.
We're gonna keep that village look, even though it's one building.
Correct.
But the village look remains. Is
That's
that
right. And that serves two purposes. One is, because we worked so hard on that, it would be insane to revisit that. And secondly, who knows what the future brings? And so to have that optionality to be able to always return to that. So like the structural rhythm of the columns inside and all that stuff to just support that long-term health of the space.
He could be an architect now, right? Members, Linda, questions or comments on what we've heard thus far?
Nope, we've talked this, we had a long conversation at ICDRC as well.
Craig?
No, I mean, my only comment was about banking the parking spaces, like just
Yeah.
giving you that option.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to, like, include that as a special condition, just like at the building commissioner's discretion. Like, if you wanted to just keep it
Works.
huh?
If it works with his.
That's what I mean.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I'm happy to leave that as an option, just as you're building out.
Sure.
That way you're not laying down all that concrete. You can just keep it grass.
Yep.
And you will have it approved so that if you
Yep.
need to show it to your potential tenants, it's there if you
Yep.
need it. But if you don't need it, let's stay as green as we can.
Yeah, oh, okay, but
And
that would
again,
be.
it's not, we're not saying you have to do it. I would just craft a special condition at the discretion of the building commissioner at the request of the applicant.
Sure, okay. Terrific.
That work for you?
Anything else?
No, the only thing is I'm looking at, like, I'm just trying to compare it to, like, existing conditions with all those, all of those trees added.
Yep,
I'm just trying to think where those are. Is that like right, basically like where that little entrance to Angelica's is, like
Yeah.
that little mini,
that's all right here. And
like,
all,
yeah, no, like the one from Boston Street, which is like further behind the building? Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like here, but it's right on the edge of where we'd be putting the sidewalk.
okay.
So this is well off of the sidewalk.
Yeah, yeah.
This is well,
really far.
yes,
I
because
just
again,
feel
for
so
the, like
excessive.
Scott was asking about the easements, because that easement area we're providing, we're pulling back, any of our installed landscaping is back inside of that proposed easement area, so that way there's like not something that gets ripped down in 2 years that we just
And what is
installed.
that, and what is that other area? Is that just grass? Between the side, back of sidewalk and where the trees are,
Yeah,
where it's
this is
green?
just all,
That would
just
be
all just grass, and it's hilling down, so these trees are planted, 6 feet below the sidewalk, so that's why I was saying that by the time you get to where the canopy starts to open up, you're looking into it from the sidewalk, and it'll really shield things.
Anything else?
No, I'll be interested to see, like, eventually how the layout of the, like, the playground looks, I mean, I don't feel strongly about having, like, I wonder if, like, that's gonna be, like, just too many trees, if it's gonna feel like it's, like, there's, like, a blockade as you're driving and,
Yeah.
like, turn it into a tunnel, but I also appreciate the reasoning behind it. I mean, a lot of playgrounds have shade structures
Yep.
in them that kind of obscure
Yep. And
anyways.
the operator
so-
offered that as an alternative. I guess I hadn't thought of what you were thinking about. I was thinking of trying to create as a natural and soft of a buffer as opposed
Yeah.
to relying on a lot of structures, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
have
see
an
in
exhibit, I
urban
think.
settings, they'll have like the canopy over it, and
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like, it serves its purpose, but I think this does it better for us.
And I have a diagram of what he sent me, of what, it's 4 metal poles that go up, and it's like at an
Yeah.
angle, so it looks like a diamond kind of a thing, with
Yeah.
like a
that's
neon
what I think
orange
right now, yeah.
covering.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, not just commentary. Nothing.
Anything else from the members? All right, members of the public. Join us, please.
To see you
Yes.
before Christmas.
Just a clarification through the chair. I understand, as Richard said, the restaurant that was there is going to move up, so that completely 10,000 square feet for the daycare and the restaurant. That ends up being a green space with parking. Initially, we were going to have the 6-foot white fence, and now there's no longer, which is a plus, there's not going to be a dumpster there, the generators along with the new parking here. On the bottom, there's no longer going to be the 6-foot fence and the dumpster and the 2 generators that were going to be there, so those are no longer there now.
Well, again, that's only the interim condition.
Interim, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that, so
But
that's
when that building
exactly,
gets leased,
that's
it will
exactly
come
my
back.
point. So now, in the event that there's gonna be a second restaurant there, does it go back to the exact same plan that was there? There's no change, so we still would get our 6-foot fence with.
Yes.
Yeah, so it goes back to exactly what was there, right?
Yes, yes, so
So
exactly, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, it's gonna be identical to what's there. So this
Correct.
is just an interim, the parking disappears, the 6-foot fence comes back.
Yep.
The generators come back. so
Yeah,
it's
you can see it on the
exact
plan,
same.
right.
Yep.
On the proposed, it's on the right side plan, you can see the fence and all that still.
So everything comes back to identical to what it is.
Correct.
Exactly there.
Correct.
Okay, so
We're-
any other change to that would have to go back, but again.
Correct.
Yes, okay, so that's exciting. Yeah. All right, okay. I just wanted that clarification.
And that wouldn't be, and it wouldn't be a second restaurant, right?
Well,
Like
it
it
could-
would
I
not
mean,
be a
it
full.
could be some sort of
Like
food
something
service, but it would have to be a
foodish, but
very
not-
low impact on
Yeah.
septic. I mean, it could
Like
not
so
be
many
another
gallons to work
full-service
Right.
restaurant.
Right. So I think that might
Yeah, so
assuage your
that would be a
concerns
worst
also.
case scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not even need, but it would have, the dumpsters would have to be in that location.
Correct. All that is the
But
same.
in the
place.
interim, without that there,
Yep.
we're still gonna have the green giant arborvitae's, the landscaping plan is gonna remain the
Yes.
same.
Yep, the green wall along the edge stays exactly
So
the
the
same.
landscaping plan will remain the same.
If it's helpful, I
regardless.
can try to just go back and forward, so you can see, so this tree is not included in the
Right.
interim plan because there's parking, but that tree is there, and then the green wall along the property line remains in place.
Okay, so as long as the green giants are there and everything else is there.
Correct.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Yes, sir. Name and address.
Well, Fred didn't have to introduce himself. I guess he's well-known. Nick Halidi, 38 Rowell Lane. First, there's a question of the developer. What mechanism, what happens, you don't want to build the 8,000 square foot building now, you want to build it in the future. Is that going to come back before this board? Or you just decide, you sign a lease and you go in and you build and the community doesn't have any input on what's going there?
You're giving input now.
Okay.
No,
Well,
but
just-
that's the point. So we're approving, we're hearing it tonight,
Yeah.
just like it would be a year from now, as you're proposing.
So the approval is still there for that building, we just don't know what's gonna happen with it, and we won't know until after it's built.
Everything we can control, we are controlling.
If it's a special permit use,
Right.
that,
Right,
And they would have to come back.
they would come back to the board if it's not something that's allowed by right.
okay, all right. All right, thanks for that, and I just wanted to kind of review the history of this project. We've all spent a lot of time here on this. And I just want to underline the fact that the developer has come and used the 40B legislation in order to force a 60-unit apartment building upon our community. And now he's asking for an accommodation to allow him to proceed with his project. And it's my understanding that our zoning board is not here to facilitate development of our town. It's here to create and regulate zoning. So I'm opposed to what this developer is proposing. If the project was successful, it would already be under construction now. The economics of these commercial buildings don't work. At the cost to build and what he has to rent them for, it doesn't work for small business. And additionally, the fundamentals of apartment buildings are crumbling as we speak. Vacancy is now topped out at 7%. Rents are falling, and we're fearful of an unsuccessful project. So I would urge the board not to approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none. Mr. Hartwell.
Mr. Chair, considering all the evidence submitted and the testimony provided, I will move that the board make the following findings related to the site plan modification submitted. First, that the site plan application and other submittals satisfy the submittal requirements of section 9.5 of the bylaws and complies with the requirements for parking, lot size, frontage, yards and heights, and coverage of buildings in the business zone. Concerning vehicular and pedestrian safety, the proposed project will not affect the convenience and safety of vehicular and pedestrian movement on the site. The project will create one direct access to the property at South Main Street with adequate site clearances and distances for both vehicular and pedestrian access. The driveway access onto South Main Street is under Mass DOT jurisdiction, and the Mass DOT, as part of the process for issuance of a vehicular access permit, will review the project to ensure safe vehicular and pedestrian access to and from the property. Concerning the adequacy of parking and loading, the proposed project will create more than the required number of parking spaces for the intended uses. Concerning the arrangement and appearance of the proposed buildings, the proposed project will be developed in a manner that is attentive to high-quality aesthetics, screening, and landscaping that minimizes potential impacts to the neighboring properties in the neighborhood. The buildings are arranged to provide maximum visibility to on-site parking and walkways to avoid conflicts with parking areas and public ways. And finally, concerning the adequacy of the methods on the site for waste disposal, surface and subsurface drainage, and lighting, the proposed changes require no amendments to the original plans regarding stormwater management, waste disposal, lighting, and is therefore compliant.
Do we want to add also, just as a point, that the project does not encroach on easements that have been granted? Is that
That's
necessary?
That's a special condition.
Okay.
We're doing findings.
Okay, yep, okay. All right, we have the motion made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So moved. Mr. Howard.
Mr. Chair, based on those findings, I move to approve the site plan as submitted, subject to the ZBA's general conditions, subject to all prior approved conditions, and the following special conditions. One, that no aspect of the project will encroach on the proposed easement at South Main Street and Boston Street. And two, that the petitioner may request to bank those additional parking spaces as shown as temporary parking area in lieu of south building at the discretion of the building commissioner.
I'll
Motion made.
second.
You seconded?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional?
I'm used to Bill jumping too, so I keep forgetting
I
he's not here.
tried.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any additional discussion by the members? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So moved.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is any other items on the agenda that are not on the agenda? Anything? Delia, anything for us?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing? Okay. Well, with that, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas and all the very best in the new year and beyond. Health, happiness, and prosperity. All right? There we go.
Thanks,
And
Rich.
with that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
We
So moved.
So
There
moved. There
we
we go.
go.
Talk about it. Without objection, we're adjourned.